Hello everyone and welcome back to another live video with me, Ivan Likov, the founder, CEO and lead developer at Phone Network. It is extremely exciting to share with you today's video because we are going to be doing a live demo and setup of the validator, which is currently available to all alpha testers and you all have been received an email earlier this week. So without further ado, let's say hi to you, Edward Akadi. Hello, Mr. Ivan. Nice to see you again. It is a pleasure to see you as well. Bruno San, bright and early. Hello, Ivan Likov. Hello to you, Bruno. Hello, Ivan again, Bruno says. Will the email with the validator software be sent to beta testers? How long do you think the tests can take until everything is ready to launch the phone main network? I was actually getting prepared here on the other screen to answer some questions, and that is one of the questions that I have there. In fact, I spoke to Hilton earlier this morning, and I was telling him that I'm 100% sure that one of the first questions, I didn't know it's going to come from you, Bruno, but will be when beta testers, because he's part of the alpha testing and we were getting him set up with the validator. Long story short, we're going to do some updates for him to be able to validate. So, but more on that in a little bit. I will answer that in the second half of the video, so stay tuned for that. As I'm doing the demo, I'm telling you what's happening, what's done, what's left to be done, and we'll also let you know what the internal roadmap for validation looks like in my mind. Uju says, hello, how do I move the phone from Card Clash to the actual wallet? That is going to be a really good question to answer right now, actually, so we don't get deep into that game right now and we stick to validation for this video. But what I want to say is that we are currently working on an update to the Card Clash game, as you guys know. And for that said, you will be able to log in or import your private key or create a new wallet on the phone network specifically. While the creation is in beta testing, we've discovered that there are no issues with creating or importing wallets. You will actually automatically connect to your main phone network account. And for that matter, your assets will automatically be transferred to that account. But for those that are prior to the upcoming update, all the phone tokens, all the phone coins that have been in not only the Card Clash game, but all of our apps and games, those will undergo a migration process. What that means is you will actually have to press a button on the screen of your device when we allow you to, when the release of the mainnet happens. And with that, all your assets will be converted and will be migrated to the phone network, all in the background. You don't have to do anything but press that migrate button. More on that, stay tuned. Our official channels, besides the YouTube that you're on right now, we are also on Telegram, on Twitter or X, Instagram. You can follow us. You can find all that in the app. In fact, I'm going to show you right now where it's best to find. So go. Yeah. So when you go on the more page and scroll all the way on the bottom, you will see all of our handles right there. Telegram, we're extremely active there. The community is helping us, and I'm truly grateful for that, guys, because it's helping us focus on the development and finalization of blockchain. So all your answers and support to the rest of the community members and newcomers, it's extremely of help, and we are truly grateful for that. So everyone that wants to join, right there, to stay tuned for that announcement. Awesome. Okay, Edward is asking a really good question as well. I also wanted to ask what the total supply will be. Since staking generates new coins, does that mean the supply will be more than 12 billion? Yes, the short answer, yes. But to talk about the actual staking and how new coins are generated versus what we used to have is a really good point. So staking is the only way that new phone is generated. So inflation is happening only through staking. We've isolated from apps and games, premium power sessions, and all the rest of the ways that you can acquire phone. Staking is the only way post mainnet that you will be able to acquire new phone that it's minted from thin air, as some like to say. So it's not really thin air because thanks to you to validate, to stake on the network, your support and trust in the project goes a long way. Hence, you get rewarded for that. So yes, while new phone is getting minted yearly, it's calculated to be between 4 and 10%. An average of that is 7%. 7% at 12 billion is a lot less than what we used to have back in the phone network era, with phone token being the Solana driven token that we had. Now, post blockchain, 7% can easily be burned through phone burning or even through the actual in apps and games fees that some developers can also achieve of doing. Each transaction also burns 0.02 phone. So long story short, we're on a lot more healthy environment than we used to be with the token and the way the structure was. So again, inflation is a lot less than before. And if I was to say, does inflationary or deflationary system works best? None are better. It's a middle ground that makes sense. So if you're deflationary all the way through, at some point you're going to go down to zero. You will disappear. Not good. If you're too much inflationary, like we used to be, it's also not good. So that's why we found that middle ground, so we can stay with that. Thank you for your question, Edward. Obic hunting, waiting mainnet. So are we. So are we. George, hello and good morning. Good morning to you, George. Dallas is asking the following question. By the way, thank you, Ivan. Just would like to say that I wish I didn't get so drunk and email you guys. At least I don't drink anymore. Well, drinking is not bad. I'm not a person that drinks. In fact, the last time I had a beer was probably on New Year's Eve. But what I would like to say is that, drinking in the limit is good. And obviously, sending some emails while drunk might not be the best thing. So I've learned three things. Do not act when you're angry. Do not forgive when you're happy. And do not take decisions when you're excited. Those are the three things, because you tend to regret those. But needless to say, no regrets in life. Moves on, and I'm happy to hear you don't drink anymore. Rodolfo, good to see you, Fernandez. And what will be the ratio of conversion from Card Clash to phone app? So Card Clash has phone tokens, and those phone tokens are already described in our white paper at 1 to 100 ratio. So 100 to 1, meaning 100 phone tokens will equal 1 coin. And I probably didn't talk about in details about that specific conversion. And I would like to spare the couple minutes here to actually talk about conversion. At first glance, a lot of you, even emailing us in the community and Telegram channels and all over the internet, are truly understanding the process behind it, but some of you still tend to see the quantity over the quality. And what I would like to say is, while 100 phone tokens will equal 1 phone coin, that's nowhere near the value that you used to have. In fact, if you've been here for a couple of years now, you know that there are ups and downs in the crypto, obviously, but so is our project too. We've been up, we've been down, we've been really low, we've been up, we've been so and so. So that actually rhymed too. That was awesome. Anyways, so what I would like to say is that if you've been participating in those moments that we are at a low or even lowest low, you've acquired or even invested in phone earnings that have delivered 10,000 to 1. So for $1, you got 10,000 phone, for example, if that's the way I'm describing it. So after conversion, that 10,000 is not 10, but 10 at the price of the listing would be 10 times more. Some people would even have, I calculated it personally, 36x from the lowest low when they invested in the lowest low of our performance on the token on exchange. With the release of the mainnet, those people will be at a 36 times. So I always say, and I'm going to switch to the actual phone app as well, it is extremely important to use the calculator. You can find it located after you open the phone app on the bottom on the more page and the calculator. So for example, if you're like, I have 1 million phone, and after conversion tokens, and after conversion, that phone will be 100 times less. So from 1 million, I'm down to 10,000. Oh my God, I'm no longer a millionaire in phone. Well, the value of 1 million phone at the lowest low was $1.10. 1 million phone. And now if you have 10,000 phone tokens, you can see $41.70 for 10,000 phone coins, given that's the listing price. Obviously, this is subject to change once we list on exchanges, but it goes to show that your million phone token worth $1.10 that you would spend on premium earning will now be worth for 10,000 phone coins $41.70. So it's very important to look at it not only from a quantity of phone perspective, but on the quality or the value side of things. Thank you for that. So 100 to 1 short answer. Hilden, good to see you. Long time no talk. At least 4 hours. Joseph Barbera, good morning, sir. Good afternoon, Ivan. Thank you. John Hanumudu, sorry if I butchered your name. Hi, and hi to you as well. Amir, hi, Ivan. Hi, Dark Lord Gaming. Nice haircut. Thanks. I just got it this afternoon, actually. Preparing for a trip. For those of you that don't know, I am traveling between the 10th and the 18th of August. So we are going to do a shorter live from an event in Toronto, Canada, called the Futurist Conference, a blockchain conference. It's actually futurist, many future things, but I will do a short live from that on that day. So stay tuned for more information on that. And what of those using Android version, Ivan? For those that are using Android version, I'm not sure what exactly you mean for the Android version. Does that mean for validation? Does it mean for transfers? If you can please iterate on the bottom in the comment section, I'll get to it in a minute. Okay, so Dallas, you're quite welcome. About the premium earning sessions, only 11% is sold. What will happen to the unsold coins after mainnet? And will there be a premium earning session after mainnet? This actually was a question that I have left myself to answer, as it was asked in the chat specifically by Oyebolanle Alder. So the premium earning session still has about 90% unsold, even with the discount of 15%. How do the team plan to sell the remaining 90%? Because it's not certain 100% will be sold. What will likely happen to the remaining not sold? Are we still to continue buying the unsold premium earning sessions after mainnet? And that is a question that has arisen before. And to answer it strictly following the few minutes that I have here, number one, I would like to say that all the premium and power earning sessions are subject to change. Quickly jumping on the app as well. For the earning sessions, when you open Premium and Power earning sessions, you see in the little eye icon, it says that it's an early access, meaning available for limited time and while supply lasts, but also early bird opportunity because the earning rates and bonuses will get adjusted once the mainnet is released. So you will not be earning as much as you are right now. In fact, those values will change, A, live by the performance on exchange, and B, at a lower rate for a convenience reasoning rather than going through an exchange and purchasing phone. So we are ones that support exchanges. So trading should be done on exchanges for and to phone. So with that said, giving the only option right now through the app to acquire some phone, early bird phone, the rates will change drastically. They will not stay at the great rates that they are right now. Therefore, obviously, if they don't get sold, we will always find a use case for phone to give out through either more earning sessions of regular or even through the apps and games, because the apps and games no longer disperse new phone out of nowhere. We don't mint phone to reward in the games. We are going to have a strict system that A, preserves the value of phone, and B, does not create new phone based on your gameplay in the apps and games. So that's why it's always good to have some extra. Don't worry, we'll find a use case for it. We are not pocketing it by no means. Okay, and we're also getting some more questions. I'm sorry if I'm skipping some of them, but the time is flying today. Hello, Ivan from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Welcome. I am writing to you. I just joined, but it does not have the subtitle option. I do not understand English. I am sorry. I really don't know how to turn on the subtitles for you. And I'm going to research that for next time. But nonetheless, not that you understand, but welcome to you. And it's good to have you. Increasing the total supply is a mistake from 10 pips. So every coin, every blockchain project out there that has a proof of stake mechanism has no limit to supply. In fact, you can look at coin market cap and you can see top 100 project if you want, if you have a moment, and look at how many have total supply and how many they have max supply. Most of those have a dash on the max because new coins get generated for those that stake or through other various consensus mechanisms. So to say that it's increasing a supply is a mistake, I wouldn't necessarily agree with it. Increasing it at a drastic exponential rate, huge mistake, a huge no-go. But a slight increase, that's how life operates. So absolutely. Okay, and we're having a question from Hilden. According to the new version of the white paper, a minimum staking of 1.2 million phone coins is required. Isn't that too much? That's a great question, Hilden. It's like, I never thought you're going to ask that. Just joking. I know you were going to say that. And in fact, thank you for asking. I appreciate that. On our call earlier, I did ask you to remind me of it. So thank you for doing so. So that's actually in line with staking, as I'm currently speaking about. So staking is actually consisting of two methods. One method that's passive and the other one is active. So the passive method is the one that you literally open the app and go to the staking section. I'm going to jump to it real quick. So you go to the staking section and you put some phone in, as my account has put 1,000 phone in. So look, I have a rank of 466. That means how many blocks how many blocks I validated? 466. Let's look at the total blocks actually. 467. Oh, 471. Let's go back and take a look. 471. Does that mean I validated every block? Yeah, it does, because I'm running one of the nodes here locally for testing purposes, and I've been chosen every time just to make sure that everything is running smoothly. So yeah, so that is the passive way, and that's how you earn phone. There's also the active way, the validation way, which we're going to jump into in a few minutes, and that way is the way that obviously transaction fees pay back to the validators. And from the passive way, you earn daily rewards that are claimable, and that's how new phone is generated. So it's basically a passive income. On the other note, looking at the way the structure goes, it goes to show that we have made it. So I'm actually going to open the white paper here for a second. I'm going to share my screen. In fact, let's test the sharing of a window or entire screen. Let's do this one because, okay, right there. Awesome. This is how I'm going to be demoing in a few minutes everything. So let's go to phone.dev and let's look at the white paper. Okay, it's been updated to version 0.3. For those of you that don't know, as of 3 days now, we have added more information about validation. So you can read through it, but I'm going to quickly glance at these numbers right here. So participants can stake phone at a 0.01 to 0.1% of the total supply. That means a minimum of, upon release of the phone mainnet, 12 billion being the total supply, you can stake between 1.2 million and 12 million, not less than 1.2 and not more than 12 million, which for some might mean that it's too much to stake. So 12 million, jumping back to the application real quick, let's look at the calculator, see how helpful the calculator can be. Okay, 120, 1,000, 12, 100, 1.2. So that's $5,004. But again, if you had 120 million phone that costed you, let's say, $1,000, now it's $5,000 worth of phone to stake 1.2 million. And while at first glance that might look like a lot of value in USD, a lot of you that have been here for years and years have accumulated even more than that. So it won't be too much for those that want to stake up on day one. So a lot of you still have more than even the 0.1%. But if I was to compare it to other blockchains, for example, Ethereum currently needs 32 Ether or ETH to stake. That's the minimum. And 32 ETH at current value, it's $95,000. That's $90,000 more than what we ask for in our system. And don't forget, there are limited slots. So if everyone stakes at 0.01, that would make it that 10,000 people tops can stake. And if everyone stakes the maximum, that means 1,000 people can only stake. So supply is also limited as well as slots. But as new phone get generated through staking, slots will open and people will be able to stake again afterwards. But on day one, only 1,000 slots. So to compare to other networks, as I said, some of them are extremely outrageous with their amounts. We are on the balanced side again. And with that said, it also creates a demand for some newcomers when we release the mainnet and they want to acquire some phone, they could do so from exchanges to stake. Those that don't have enough could be the suppliers of those that are interested to actually stake and can definitely get a little bit of phone extra to what they already have to stake. So needless to say, alpha users, you're blessed. You're given the unique opportunity to be the first ones and to stake at the highest reward at 10%. I highly encourage everyone to look at the white papers changes, to read through validation and see what I'm talking about. Okay. Africoin, good to see you. Hello, dear Ivan, dear Likov. Okay. Wei Sin Lai. Hey, if that's Lai, that's awesome. Good to see you. Hi, Ivan. Can you answer my question? I need to plan my app development. Yes, that's probably you. Thanks. Is the developer kit available for websites as well, or is it limited to mobile apps only? The software development kit is definitely available for any platform out there that supports API communication. So as long as you can send the regular HTTP request, you're totally fine. So that's Windows, Mac, mobile, websites, you name it. It's definitely available. So obviously we'll release the development kit with the mainnet, but we'll might want to send an email to put you on the wait list for early access for developers. We do have a couple projects that are currently tinkering with the early build of the kit, so it's probably good to get your hands on early before mainnet hits, so you might have something done by then. Okay, I'm an Indian. There is a possibility of it being launched sometime. Yes, and hello to you, Technical Worldwide MH with 001 at the front. So yes, it is launching by the end of Q3. So we are less than 2 months away from mainnet launch. We have just started our validator testing, and by the way it looks at it, we are going to be going in beta test soon enough. I know Bruno is there waiting. When? I'm going to say in 4 minutes we're starting that. James Stenson, I hope phone has enough uniqueness to compete against what's already out there. I'm very hopeful. Thank you, James. I gotta say that we don't compete. In fact, I've been asked, since you're not doing smart contracts, how are you going to become better than Ethereum? Or how are you going to compete with those? And I said, I'm not trying to compete with them. They're an absolutely amazing structure for what they're built. We're built for mobile devices. Therefore, I'm aiming on mobile only structure that allows for transactional network and the ability to send protocols along the way so applications can read the specific protocols and output data the way they want. You can send everything through text, including images and video. So just because it doesn't have smart contracts doesn't mean it's not great. In fact, we don't want to be the better Ethereum. We want to be the best mobile. Vincent Sunday, can you guarantee partnership for listing on OKX or Bybit before mainnet? Those two can't guarantee. We do have contacts, great people that are going to be helping us list on exchanges. They are on standby. I know they're watching too because I've been getting questions from them afterwards, after some of the live. So hi to you. You know who you are. Yes, you are on standby, and we'll get back to you as soon as we're ready to communicate for exchanges once beta is towards the end. But they literally have pretty much every top exchange in connection with them, so they could offer us great service, great pricing, listing to be smooth. So we can, as long as funds are in, sky's the limit. James also asks, you've done a great job. Hopefully this will have a large use case and others will want to build on your blockchain. Thank you, James. Truly appreciate your warm words. That's our main goal, is spreading phone as much as possible, scaling it so everyone can use it without hiccups, and we'll continue to improve. Thank you. Okay, if you guys like this video and would like to see more of those lives every week, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We're doing those for a month now, 4 times, once a week, and we're going to continue with those lives. And I'm also going to do some videos for you with demos and demonstrations and some cool stuff. And not to mention that every single live towards the end of the video, I will share with you something amazing. We've been doing it for 3 times. Why not do it a 4th time now? So thank you for being here with us. Nasri, Sorry, Nasiru. Oh, I'm sorry, I butchered that name so badly. My apologies. Hello, sir. I have token in LA Token Exchange, but this list phone they delist phone token and the increase minimum withdrawal from 500K phone to 25 million phone as gas fee. Please, any update regarding those users that holding. So if that's the case, obviously you will have an opportunity to withdraw once the mainnet launches. They will also assist you with that. So for now, if the gas fee is so high, just keep it there. But ultimately, you would want to transfer it back to the phone app to migrate when the release happens. Vincent, thank you for your good work. Thank you, Vincent. The Reaper. Just be sure people don't list fake phone network just like they did with Pine Network and many others. Yes, absolutely. Unless I say phone is now live on exchange or one of our team members posts and pins a message on our Telegram chat, do not trust anyone that tells you phone network is listed on exchange. It is not, and it will be once we say that. Okay, good working, sir. Thank you. Alrighty, and with that said, phone family, Rodolfo, phone family indeed. You cannot withdraw from Green Karma, Theo, because Green Karma withdrawals have been halted, as well as Card Clash or future crypto cards. So with that said, once mainnet launches, you can migrate your phone to the phone on the mainnet, and you'll be able to withdraw back again. Alrighty, guys, we are into the second half. Just a last message here from Teddy Berry. Greetings, Mr. Ivan. Is it okay if my Car Clash account is different from the phone app? My Car Clash is blocked. Any pardon in the future? Yes, certainly. And it doesn't matter if they're on the same account because phone is a blockchain moving forward. Therefore, Google and Apple and Facebook logins won't work, and you will need to create a new wallet, and you can migrate from those accounts to that account. Alrighty, even though I'm starting the validation here, guys, I will still jump to the chat. So if you have some questions, by all means, go ahead and ask them. I will answer them as we go. Alrighty, we are going to do a live demo setup of the validator that's currently available for all alpha users. And here's how it goes. Sharing my screen. I am currently in the router of my system. Just going to log in real quick. And once I'm logged in, I will show you what the process is to set up the validator on your computers, regardless of them being Raspberry Pis, Mac, Windows, Linux based. I will help you. And obviously, along the way, we'll add more ways for you to set it up. So currently, you see I have one port opened, but that's the one that's currently running on my Windows machine. So I'm going to open a new one for the Mac that I'm currently operating on, and we'll do it live with you. So first things first, we got to take some notes. And I'm going to open the Notes app, get it here, and we're going to do a validator setup. So we need a few prerequisites. Number one is our IP address of the machine. So if we go to Wi-Fi, and we go to the Wi-Fi settings, we are gonna see some information about the Wi-Fi right here, and we can get phone network settings. Windows and other machines work differently, but if you're on a Windows machine, you can open a command prompt, CMD, and type IP config all together, and you'll get all the information. Here's the IP address of my computer that's running off of my router. So 192.168.220.194. Usually, the third number is just 1 or 0. Nowadays, it's always 1, but I have changed it to be 220 in one of my setups. So it doesn't matter. Knowing your IP address of the device will automatically allow you to know the IP address of your router. So if that's a device, these three are the same for all devices on my local network. The last represents the device. So if this is 194, then we know that my router would be .1, the first device on the network. That doesn't mean I have 194 devices. It just means that, it did set it up on 194. So I can go to my browser and I can type in, as you can see, 192.168.220.1. And by doing so, I will automatically open my router. I have already entered my password and have already gone to the menu on the left under NAT forwarding. It could be virtual forwarding, depending on the router. Like, for example, if I had a different router, or if you have a different router and you're not following the same structure as I am on TP-Link routers, you have an ASUS router, I could easily just tell you to Google ASUS router port forwarding, and literally the very first one would be from the company and will tell you exactly where to go. It will also tell you what's good, what's not good, where to go, username, password, and under WAN, you go to virtual server port forwarding, and from there, the setup is pretty much identical for each and every router. So if you're concerned as to what you're seeing on my screen, just follow along with the actual structure, not the actual placement. Might change depending on your router. So now that we are here, we also have a validator software right here. So if I was to run the validator software right now, notice I'm going to get an error immediately. So the screen might be too small for you to see. It says error reading from config file. For Windows and Linux, as long as an error occurs, the window closes automatically. Mac users don't have that issue, but if that's the case, you can open a terminal or CMD, and you can navigate by saying CD, desktop in my case, and then Mac. So by doing so, I'm automatically in the folder. As you can see, it just says Mac folder here, and I could execute the validator right there. So validator is what it is. Whoops. Okay, well, permission denied. Yes, that's on Linux. You have to allow it. But basically, this is the command. It's all available in the setup guide that comes with the validator. For those of you who don't have access to it yet, it will come soon. Okay. Do you have plans in place for good marketing and YouTube shifters? Yes, absolutely. We do have actually plans for that, and we'll definitely execute them as we get closer to mainnet. So without saying further, I'm going to see what the error is, and says error reading from config file. Alrighty, let's look at that. So if we're having an error to read from the config file, we have to adjust the config file. And let's open it up with a text editor. On Windows, that would be your usual notepad. On Linux would be text editor, so it is on Mac. So I need to enter a few details here. So that's an internal port. It's a port that I would like to choose that no one else will know out there. So, I'm protected from attacks and hacks that cannot find the port. In this case, I'm going to use port 3001. We got to make sure that that's not used, but if you've never done any port forwarding, it's obviously not used. The second one is your node URLs. So with the release of the mainnet, you will find those on our website, and you will basically be able to copy and paste a list of those over here. So that means if one fails, the other one will be available, so on and so forth. So you're never left out with no nodes. For testing, you literally do not touch this, because this is the official phone node that we are running right now in the test phase. IP. Remember, we've gathered our IP earlier? Well, this is in the Notes app. This is the IP address that we can input, but let's remember this is local IP address, meaning it's only within my system of router, computer, mobile phone, tablet, whatever, you have AC or, Raspberry Pi, whatever devices, those are on a local network. No one else from around the world will be able to connect if you use your local address, meaning this one over here. It's actually over there. Yeah. So you don't put this. You actually have to go to your port forwarding section and you have to add a new one. And remember, we just chose an actual port to use. In the config file right here, we chose 3001. So let's input the IP address of my computer, the 192.168.220 in the IP address, or you can even choose from connected devices. It looks like I don't have any other connect. Oh, there they are. It's actually 2 pages of devices, but let's leave that. I know my IP address, so 192.168.220.194. The service name, we can choose from a common one. It's an HTTP request. You can put whatever you want here. If you want, you can just put phone validator. That's a name. It's not used for anything, but this automatically populates some areas for you. And why I did that is so I can show you that external port being 80 is no good. This is the default port. In fact, if you go to a website like google.com, you're leading to it through port 80. And that's why you don't see any dots and 80 like this, because that is the default port. Do not open your default port for external or even internal. Always use a different one. And in this case, we're going to use 8081. And then the internal port, we already set it up as 3001. So from when someone goes to your network, they're going to get through the gate of 8081. And then from there, they're going to be navigated to the device that we're currently setting up, this Mac machine, at 3001 port. So the internal port is the one on the local network. The external one is the one from everywhere around the world to lead to you. We leave the protocol at TCP, and we're good to go. That's literally all we had to do. 192.168.220.194 with external port 8081 and internal port 3001. So for security reasons, I'm not going to show you what my IP address is, but you can easily check it on whatismyip.com. So right there, you go to whatismyip.com. It shows you IP version 4. So that's how you get your IP address. Not that it matters if someone sees your IP address, but it's always, an extra layer of security to not share your public IP address. For that, each and every router nowadays offers a special tool. Even if your IP address is not static, what that means it changes from time to time. So you can go to network and you can go to dynamic DNS. And that allows you to create, after logging in, and remember I said I'm going to log into my ID. That's what I did. So after logging in, you will be able to register a new domain name. And in this case, I chose phone, and it automatically populates tplinkdns.com. So if I use this guy, it's the same thing as using my static IP. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to put it into the IP or domain address. You can use the IP as well. It will work just as fine, but the domain name being http phone.tplinkdns.com. In this case, it's HTTP. I don't have an SLS encryption. And with that, phone.tplinkdns.com. Remember, there was an external port that we opened, and that is 8081. We have to pass that in the setup. So 2 dots or a colon, 8081. And that's all we need. So let's actually put 8082, or not even put a port. Let's save the file and see what's going to happen. We're going to open the validator and we're going to get an error, which Hilton is not happy because he's been seeing this for a long time now. But the validator is not live based on the IP in the config file. So we've done something wrong on that specific line, or we haven't done something completely, or the internet service provider is having a blockage on the port forwarding, or there might be many reasons, which I'm going to talk about how we solve those towards the end of the video. But by putting the port 8081 and saving, rerunning that same file, you will see I'm past, whoops, obviously. Okay. Look at that. I'm also having an issue. 8081, 3001. Oh, HTTP. Right. HTTP. See, there you go. It keeps telling me that I have an error. And let's go past that. And now it says validator is running. I did connect to the node. It told me why, but then it told me invalid private key. How do you get a private key? Well, that's the easiest part. If you're up to that point, you're golden. You've done the setup on your machine properly. 10 pips is important to know why the people must buy phone with unlimited supply. 10 pips. Pretty much every project out there has unlimited supply. It's how you handle that supply that matters, not if it's unlimited or not. And by being unlimited, how is new coins being generated? If I have access to generate new coins by pressing a button, that's bad. But because we're going to go undergo a blockchain security audit to make sure that there are no hiccups, there are no issues, there are no backdoors, there are no vulnerabilities of new phone to be minted. When you know the amount that's getting dispersed every year and being able to handle that, you are golden. And that's why it matters. It's not if it's unlimited or not, it's how it's handled. If you love Bitcoin because it has a 21 million and it's done, by all means, stick to coins that are that way. We are just different, or we are just like many others, like Tron, Solana, Ethereum, in that specific matter. And plus, if it was all limited, phone devices out there are growing. So are human beings on the planet Earth. If we are having only two decimals, 0.00, only two, not like Bitcoin 0.18 decimals with most exchanges using only 8, then that means we can break it into such little pieces. That's okay. But because we're only 2 decimal coins, there must be supply for everyone. And in fact, 12 billion is not a big supply. Look at many others, including Tron. They're 80 plus billion, if not 90 plus. I mean, they've been burning a lot lately, but still a lot. So I appreciate your concerns, definitely. Not the first one to mention them, but there's definitely math behind it that solves this concern. Okay, what is your prediction for phone token in 2025? Florin asks. I am not one to speculate. I've said it multiple times. We'll continue to improve, we'll continue to grow, and obviously continue to spread as much adoption as possible. So sky's the limit, so is ground. So with that said, as long as we're together and we're continuing to push forward, we're definitely going to be hitting highs and highs. Hello, Asal. Alrighty, now that we are in the app, we can go and create a new wallet. And I'm going to just put in my super secret PIN code. Let's everyone turn your head so you don't see it. And we are going to just name it test validator. Okay, I'm going to copy my private key, but let's say I forgot. As many of us always forget to save our private keys. This message is not big enough to say, whoop, yeah, I did back out of it. So test validator. Yes, so, this message is not red and big enough for us to see it. Jokes aside, I forgot to save my private key, and I'm now back to the main app. You can go and see your private key again from your profile. You hit the gear icon and backup wallet. Enter the super secret code again, and you will see your private key. We're going to copy that, and we're going to go back to our private key, last piece of the puzzle, pasted, save the file, and let's see what happens when we run the validator. We are no, we're not live. And why are we not live this time? It does say that it's accessing wallet F0 ending at 23. Let's just enlarge that a little bit. F023, let's see. F023. I literally just accessed my wallet, so I know that's the wallet. Amazing. But the error I got was that this wallet is not staking. And here's why it's really important to stake first before you activate the validator, as it will not connect you to the network to receive transactions. Okay. Rodolfo, everything that we call currency can be printed. So we are in right ways. Thank you, Rodolfo. Truly appreciate those words. We don't want to be different. We want to make difference. Ooh. Any permission to use that from now on? I would love to see a yes in the chat. Okay, so let's now stake some phone, which is now the last point. Oh, I don't have any phone. Well, we're on a test net. We are giving the opportunity to press this little button a few times. So again, I'm going to refresh, wait for the transaction to be validated. The first one got validated immediately, so that means we were in the 12th second. Now we're going to wait for a few seconds. Again, there you go. Let's start staking. And I need 1,014 minimum. Okay, that's another 500. Easy peasy for me. And let's stake 1,100, more than my main account. I will be getting at 9.9%. See, it's already dropping down because of people staking. I was at 10 when I first started a couple hours ago when the reset happened, and now I'm at 9.9 and earning 0.18 a day with my 1,100. So now that I'm staking, what shall we do? Any guesses in the chat? Should we go and start the validator and see what happens? Ladies and gentlemen, the validator is officially connected. We're seeing the last piece of the puzzle being solved online. So validator online, waiting for transactions to validate. And let's see if I'm going to get lucky. Oh my God, I did. Reward received 0.28 phone. And if I actually look and refresh, you will see I have 0.28, my first ever on the test validator account, my first ever validator reward. I'm not charged for it because obviously that's a reward based on other transactions. And let's see, can we guess how many transactions I validated? If I got 28, just that's 2 per. That means there were 14 transactions in a block that I validated, and I got my 0.28. Let's look. I no longer want to look at my Mac. I want to refresh, and boom, I got another reward. I got 0.38, 0.34, 0.20 every 12 seconds. In fact, if I look at it, there's 11 seconds here, 13, 12, 11. So yeah, it all depends. But there we go. Congratulations to me. I just set up the validator as if I didn't create it. I'm so excited, like I'm doing it for the first time. And you can see, you can just leave it there and it does its thing on the background. You don't have to touch it. You don't have to do anything. And even if you kill it at some point, you will still have all your rewards and you can literally just press and start it back again. The setup is done. You are singing or you're perfectly fine. You're all set. The validation is ready. And with it, all the rest of the setup. So you're perfectly ready. I got 0.46. And that's as easy as it can get when setting up ports. So one other thing I wanted to mention, now that I've set up my port and I've set up my TP-Link ID, I don't ever have to go back to this page ever again, unless I want to change my domain address, kill that, create a new one, change. And if I wanted to jump to another device and have that set up, all I need to do is move that config file to another device and just change the port. Literally, sorry, not the port, but the IP address. Like I go to edit it and I change from 194, let's say my Raspberry Pi, which I know is 150. And if I hit save, my Raspberry Pi is fully set up and I could just double click and get going. That's how easy it is once it's set up. There's another option that we're working on doing in the second version of the validator. That's version 0.1. But once we go into 0.2, we'll also enable UPnP. That's universal plug and play. Oh, look, it's it's even written here. Yeah, universal plug and play means that you don't have to do all the port forwarding. You don't have to know your IP address. You don't have to know your setup, anything. You can just select. We will have a special field in the file which says, UPnP enabled, true or false. If it's false, you do your manual setup. If it's true, you don't have to do your manual setup. But if it's UPnP, what that means, it's doing it all automatic for you. The machine, the computer, it's doing the setup. Every time you start the validator and every time you close it, it deletes the setup. So that is raising some security concerns. Unless you're running a software that you know by heart is not malicious or does not have a malicious situation attached to it, you can run it. But I'm not a huge fan of UPnP. In fact, you should always lock your UPnP setup. Even though I have it on, that's fine. I have protection. I'm wearing protection on my computers. But yeah, UPnP is easy to get going, but hard to master. So back to console. Yep. Was the Solana switch worth it? Well, once the mainnet launches, we'll see. Okay, Rodolfo, just whales watching. I'm just a nobody in the crypto world. You're somebody. Maybe you're not big in the crypto world, but you're somebody. No, don't ever call yourself a nobody in any sphere or field. You're always somebody. And you've been somebody, we've been messaging each other and things like that. So, Lai, many phone whales here. Woohoo! Good job, whales. You will definitely have the ability to start staking. And that's how you set up the validator, guys. So while it's quite weird for those of you that have never done it, I know for a fact Hilton has never done it, and he was able to set up a new router without my help whatsoever. Now, we ran into a little hiccup, but we'll solve it one way or another. So thank you for your time that we had on the calls, Hilton. It was very helpful to see what might be going wrong and what we can improve as validator. Is still in baby steps, 0.1. So now on to answering Bruno's question. When beta? So since I'm traveling on the 10th, back on the 18th, from the 20th to the 30th, we're going to update the validator and send invitations to beta testers that have invested a $20, a gold Fonera NFT. And from there, we're also going to send the rest of the beta in the first week of September. And since by then all alpha users will be set up, beta will be set up in a week, then all the rest can be set up afterwards. We are on track for mainnet release by the end of September. Will validation on Android be easier than the desktop system? No, you still need. This is not a desktop system. I could access my router from a mobile device. This has nothing to do with this. So what I did on the port forwarding thing here could be done through any device on the local network. It's what you activate the validator on. It's basically a double click button after obviously setting up the JSON file. So a connection to the node was not established correctly. Check the configuration file and try again. Yeah, we know that. So the setup is the same, at least till now. And it's just as easy as running it afterwards on a mobile device that it is on a desktop computer. And last but not least, we are running into the final minute, and I want to give you a sneak peek preview of the code. No, I'm just kidding. A sneak peek preview of our game, Crypto Treasures. Remember last week I said we're working on Crypto Treasures, and we are going to release that before the mainnet is launched in the form of a clicker game, kind of like those exciting games on Telegram, Hamster Combat and whatnot. We are also remaking our Crypto Treasures game to be a new style, new format, but rewarding you with great rewards for your gameplay. And I'm going to give you a sneak peek preview of randomly generated islands that you can visit and seek for treasure. So these is randomly generated. As you can see, everything from literally the image. In fact, I could probably do this better. Yeah, okay, that would be better for visibility. So from the islands to actually the sand and water, it's all randomly generated each time with different odds and possibilities that you will discover on your own. I'm not going to share now, but you will discover which islands you can visit to either tap on pirates or be lucky to discover treasure chests that are filled with goodies, including phone and even tether. Tether rewards, just like Card Clash, will be coming into crypto treasures as well. More on those things later on. For now, I'm truly excited to share with you everything, but obviously we'll have to wait. Patience is a key. And that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. Thank you for joining. I'm looking forward to sharing some live from the upcoming conference the week after. We're probably going to do a live on the weekday before my travel on Friday. And then we are going to be staying in touch as usual on Telegram and our socials. Until then, have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.